kissing my ass.
He's been called a genius and a madman, a savior and a threat. But whatever you think about Donald J. Trump, you can't ignore him. Why does he dominate the room without saying a word? How does he flip criticism into fuel? And why do millions follow him? Not just in politics, but in mindset. This isn't just about leadership or fame or money. This is about something deeper, a psychological code built on dominance, charisma, and obsession with control. This is not about politics. This is about decoding the human code of Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump's narcissism isn't hidden, it's weaponized. He doesn't seek approval, he demands attention. And in doing so, he shapes the narrative. Every statement is a headline. Every appearance, a performance. He doesn't wait to be discussed. He makes sure he's impossible to ignore. This isn't insecurity, it's strategy. By placing himself at the center, he becomes the lens through which everything is judged, good or bad. To most people, narcissism is a flaw. To Trump, it's fuel. Trump doesn't speak like a politician. He speaks like a salesman and a fighter.
We will make America strong again.
Short words.
We will make America proud again.
Simple phrases.
We will make America safe again.
Repetition.
And we will make America great again.
Each one is a frame, a mental shortcut that shapes how people think. He doesn't argue details. He defines reality. If you're reacting to his words, you're already in his world. You're playing his game. That's not just rhetoric. That's psychological control. Trump doesn't try to win everyone. He splits the room. He creates us versus them, loyal versus disloyal, patriots versus enemies. This isn't a bug, it's the strategy. Because once you choose a side, you fight for it, emotionally, blindly. Division creates loyalty. Loyalty creates power. He doesn't unify, he galvanizes, and that's far more explosive. Donald Trump's greatest weapon isn't facts, it's certainty. He speaks like everything he says is undeniable truth, even when it's not. Because in the human brain, confidence often matters more than accuracy. If you repeat something with conviction, people start to believe it. Not because it's proven, but because it feels true. This isn't lying, it's reality distortion. And Trump? He's a master of bending perception until it breaks. Most people question themselves, doubt, reflect. Donald Trump? He moves forward like doubt doesn't exist. This isn't ignorance, it's strategy. When you never hesitate, people start to follow. Not because you're right, but because you're certain. Trump's superpower is not truth, it's conviction. And conviction creates momentum. And momentum wins elections. Most leaders operate within systems. Trump, he breaks them or bends them to his will. For him, rules are not boundaries, they're obstacles. And obstacles meant to be moved. He doesn't ask, what's allowed? He asks, what can I get away with? That mentality changes everything. It rewrites negotiations, disrupts norms, and shifts the balance of power. You may hate the game, but Trump plays it like he designed it. Trump doesn't chase attention, he commands it. Every tweet, every gesture, every headline, deliberate, provocative, calculated. He understands the media machine better than most journalists do. Controversy? It's not a risk, it's a strategy. He doesn't fight narratives, he floods them, buries them in noise until he's the only story left. Trump's true arena isn't politics, it's perception. Some leaders earn respect, others demand obedience. Trump inspires loyalty. To his followers, he's not just a politician, he's a symbol of rebellion, of disruption, of identity. He speaks like them, thinks like them, fights for them, or at least makes them feel like he does. Even when criticized, even when cornered, they stay. Because loyalty doesn't come from perfection. It comes from resonance, and Trump, he resonates. This is not about politics. This is about decoding the human code of Donald J. Trump. He didn't follow the system, he rewrote it. He didn't play the game, He changed the rules. Everything about him, the confidence, the chaos, the branding, the emotion, it's not random, it's design. A system built not for approval, but attention. Not for peace, but power. Not for truth, but for impact. You can admire him, you can oppose him, but you cannot ignore him. Because Trump isn't just a man, he's a signal, a reflection of what moves people and what divides them. Decode him, and you decode something far bigger. If you're still watching, you're not watching politics. You're studying the psychology of influence. Subscribe to Human Code. Every week, we decode minds that reshape the world. Because once you understand how power works, you can start building your own.